Hey guys, it's Justin Wayne, aka The Real Life Hitch, and today I'm going to give you guys advice on how to attract a girl you like.
After Justin demonstrated just how easy it can be to make out with women in public, Cosmo invited him to their show.
You're like a real life hitch.
Most of the times, the girls that you like, when you actually like them, sometimes you feel pressure and you kind of fear that you're not going to get her because you've really put a lot of effort into this. So I want to kind of give you guys a nice thing that you can look into when pursuing women. First of all, one very important thing that even my man Dan Bazillion said, he says it's not all about just the approach and talk to girls. That's one part. That's like one part of the game. But sometimes the more important stuff is what you call the setup, right? Your individual setup with women. So what does this mean? This means the way in which you decide to meet women, right? There's different ways to meet women, and I'm going to talk about the 3 different ways to meet women and how to best utilize each of these ways. So basically, I call this the dating trifecta. Basically, that means the 3 main ways to date women, which is stranger approaching, or a cold approach, online dating, and social circle. The first thing I want to talk about is the idea of what you call stranger approaching, or some people call it cold approach. This is where you approach strangers walking in the streets or in the clubs or anything like that. And you know, this is something that we've taught for years. If you look on our channel, you see there's a lot of live videos of me approaching women, talking to them, getting their numbers, and also taking them home. But this is just one form of approaching girls, and it's a great way because, you know, great thing about this approach is that you can see any girl that you like and just approach her, and you have a shot at potentially getting her. A lot of guys don't take advantage of this. I'm surprised how much guys actually would go out, walk around, you see a beautiful woman in the coffee shop or in Best Buy store, she's just there doing nothing, and a lot of guys don't even take action. They don't even just find out, at least talk to her, get a number quickly, anything could happen. So, you know, that's something that you really want to do. If you're not really meeting girls right now, it's because you probably just not even talk to enough girls. Go out, approach lots of different girls, talk to them. You know, meeting women, some of it is a numbers game. You have to put in a good amount of effort in the beginning. So there's nothing wrong with that. And also, the great thing about doing stranger approach is that it makes your vibe a lot more alive. Like, guys who actually approach strangers often, what happens is that their energy is a lot more upbeat, and you know, in order to get better feedback, you automatically start adjusting to get better reactions from women. So when you meet women in other situations in life, like from work or whatever, you'll have a generally more charismatic personality than you would have if you had never done any stranger approaching. So that's number 1. Second is your social circle, okay? Now for social circle, you don't want to like approach a lot of girls like you would do in the streets, like stranger approaching. Stranger approach, you can approach a lot of girls because there are no repercussions. If I go on the street, if I get rejected from a random stranger, I'm probably not going to see you again, or not going to see you again anytime soon. And plus, she doesn't know my friends, or she doesn't know other girls that she can say, oh, he approached me and I wasn't into him, yuck. Right? So you don't have that. That's a great thing about stranger approaching. However, in social circle, your reputation does precede you, and you want to tread lighter. Instead of just like asking her out from your social circle, if you have a friend and you like her, yes, you ask her out, but you don't want to be too abrupt. First thing you want to do is see if you guys even connect or have a good basic social vibe or chemistry. So what I would normally do in social circle is she works with you or she goes to your school or anything like that. You know, just try to have a friendly conversation with her first. Don't try to get her number, or don't try too much. Just see what the vibe is like first, because you can't even get to that first step. Why do the other steps? If she doesn't even like talk to you in a normal way, then it's a waste of time trying to ask her out. That's just going to make it cringeworthy, and she can now say, oh, you hit on me and I wasn't interested, and then communicate it to other girls. Instead, you just talk to her as a friend, right? So you could tell anything, you say, oh, how's it going today? Simple, you know, especially if she goes to your college, it's a very simple conversation starter. Or you say, hey, did you go to the party last night with Jeff and the other people? You know, anything like that you can do, and you know, try to build up a nice vibe with her first. And if she is giving you a good enough vibe, then from there, you can feel free to say, hey, well, you know, I'm hanging out tomorrow. You know, you should come join me. Again, that's all you need to do. You don't have to say, hey, do you want to go on a date? There's no reason to say, do you want to go on a date? Because it kind of makes it weird in social circle. The best way to do things in social circle is to make things look like it just happened. Just invite her out as a friend, hang out with her, and then while you're hanging out, then you gradually make a move to see where she stands. So the great thing about taking your time is, let's say if I, for example, try to hold a girl's hand playfully, that's in my social circle, she kind of lets go a few times. Then I kind of know now, okay, well, she's not trying to move forward in that way, so I probably might just like forget about her and meet some other girls in the meantime. So the great thing about that is I never really blew up the vibe by making her flat out reject me and say, oh, I'm not interested. Instead, she just kind of subtly shows that, and I can now move away from that in peace, knowing, okay, well, at least I tried to make an effort. So these are some smoother ways that you want to try to hit on girls' Soul Circle. However, the great thing about Soul Circle though is that it's easier than Stranger Approach per girl, meaning that girls normally date guys that they know or guys that they get comfortable with. So you have an easier in, meaning to go from Soul Circle than on the streets, which is like a lot tougher. And another part of the trifecta model is online dating, and basically this is still a new field because only the past decade have people been trying to meet online and do all this stuff. Now, first of all, I'm gonna say online dating is a great way to meet women. The reason why it's great is because you're meeting women in the perfect state of mind. Anytime a woman's on a dating app, she's in a state of mind to date. So the problem with Stranger Approach is that you can approach a girl, she could be in a state of mind to get something to eat or to meet her friends around the corner. So you just, and her state of mind will heavily dictate how the interaction goes. Soul Circle is cool, but the problem with Soul Circle is that most of the times you can't approach that much girls in Soul Circle before you run out of girls, because you can only know and have friends with so much girls that you know. But the great thing about online dating is that you can, be more efficient if you do the right things to get more dates. And then most of the time when girls meet you on a date, they're a lot more interested in you from online because they're on the website to date. So even if she matches with you or if she, agrees to meet you, she's already agreed far more to go, to go all the way with you, more so than the other two. The other two more chancy. For me to go on the street, even if she meets you on a date, unless you guys have kissed or whatever the first day, she can still pretend like she wants to be your friend. That's happened to me before, happens to a lot of people. On Soul Circle too, if you just because you invite her out doesn't mean she's going to be interested. However, for online dating, the girls are a lot more likely to be interested, and you'll have a lot higher percentage of success in online dating. Now, obviously, I know that some guys will say, well, hey, I go on Tinder and I don't really get that much swipes. There's a lot of advice for that. Number one, your pictures. If you can get professional photographers, you never know. You might think that like, oh, well, I have one picture, didn't work. You'd be surprised. I've heard a lot of stories about people changing just 1 or 2 pictures, going to a professional photographer, and boom, they got 10 times more leads coming in, a lot more girls hitting them up. So that's one thing you might want to do. For those who are, this is honest advice, if looks is not your strongest suit or you don't fit the archetype of what a lot of the girls are looking for, don't spend too much time on sites like Tinder that are matching websites. Instead, use stuff like, OkCupid, anything where you can message the girl first, because through that you can do a lot more creative things to get the girl. You can say something funny, you can show her a funny video, you can show her a picture of yourself, whatever it is, you can do this stuff, and it can increase the chances of her coming to meet you or getting to know you because it's not only on one picture. So that's one thing that I want to get into. Hey guys, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, share it around, and also if you want to get our free course I have right over here that's going to teach you all this and way more, just click on it so you can learn some fundamental stuff in terms of creating real attraction with women and getting real results, and also seeing me in action. Take care.